if you crave more than headlines and hot takes, that you go to your app in the morning and you get like one sentence of things going on. Well, Thinkable might be the most exciting new speaker series in New Jersey. It is hosted in Montclair's historic Lackawanna Station. Beautiful place. That's right at the Montclair Bloomfield border. It brings together world class minds from Ta-Nehisi Coates to Richard Dawkins for unscripted, thoughtful, in person conversations that challenge and inspire. It's not about screaming at people, folks. It's about sitting down and having thoughtful discussion. Listen and think. Joining us is entrepreneur, producer, educator, brilliant man, thinkable creator, Desh Amila. Good to have you with us to share what makes this live experience different, why Montclair has the perfect ambiance, if you will, because it's a thoughtful kind of a community, and what audiences can expect from the upcoming season. First off, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good to be here, Ken.
Good to have you. And by the way, I was just reading your background. You're from Sri Lanka, correct?
I was born and raised in Sri Lanka. Then I moved to Australia. Yeah.
Amazing. I was just reading what you had, or listening to what you had said. What happens if you attempt to report news that some people may object to in Sri Lanka? Go ahead and tell that story. What could happen to those folks?
So I was born in 1981. That's when the Civil War started in Sri Lanka. During the Civil War, a lot of Americans and people from New Jersey might not know what you think and what you read versus what actually happens. It's an entirely different story. So
Right.
people in power wants to fully control the narrative. Uh, At one point, Sri Lanka had the worst record for journalists disappearing. So basically, if you say the wrong thing, you will just disappear. And there are, to my knowledge, at least 117 journalists have been disappeared, basically murdered for saying the wrong thing. So
That's
yeah.
terrifying. Having been a journalist most of my career, I worked for ABC News, I worked for NBC, CBS, and Fox at different times in my career, and now doing independent work here. And by the way, let me speak to either side listening right now is thinking it's the other side that does that in the United States, that cancels people, and they're both very guilty of it. The right does it, and the left does it in this country, and that's why I said at the beginning, at the intro, sit back and calmly listen to each other. And I think that is so key. We tend to get so extreme with our passions, but I love that you're doing this. Tell everyone what Thinkable is. What inspired you to create this?
Thinkable is my attempt at trying to take what a town hall should be. I know certain billionaires would like to say the social media platform is the modern town hall, but at our modern town hall, you don't, you're not forced to see things you're not supposed to in a civilized society. You're not surrounded by echo chambers. At your town hall you get to uh, hear conversations that are meant to be civil. So Thinkable at Lackawanna Station is going to be just that. You're going to hear some of the greatest minds fundamentally shape our understanding, at least in the past through sort of long form writing, this time in person. So I do see the West as grounded in enlightenment values,
I love it.
and I see that being chipped away. So this is my attempt at reminding people, saying, "Hey, hey, we still have this."
Yeah, and that's key. You have a world perspective that I think people here just don't get. And again, I'm talking both right and left. And I've worked for media outlets that were both sides. I've worked for media outlets that were hard right and hard left. And kind of what's funny is they are each committed to the thought that only the other side is the bad guy. So you have to stop and sit back and listen. And by the way, I always tell my friends on both sides, if you want to be the greatest debater in the world, shut up and listen. Listen to what the other side is saying, and you will learn something. I never come away from a debate. I was a high school and college debater. Never came away from a debate that I didn't learn something from the other side. You need to listen and think, and that's so important.
I
That's
think
why
it's crucial.
Thinkable It's everything. And if we want to have any kind of peace on this planet, you have to accept the fact that there are lots of different people, even in same families, with lots of different ideas. And you can't just say that yours are right and everybody else's are wrong. It's just not the case. But I think we've used terms like existential so often and called everybody a Nazi and a tyrant. The right did it to Obama, the left does it to Trump. It's like, stop it. They're not Nazis and they're not tyrants. They may be extreme to each other's tastes, yes, but it's a pendulum swing. And that's why I love that you're doing this. This is fantastic. So now the upcoming season includes Ta-Nehisi Coates, who has very strong opinions about things. Remember the whole kerfuffle with CBS when Ta-Nehisi was on CBS? But Ta-Nehisi's brilliant. He's a brilliant thinker. Listen to what he has to say. You had Steven Pinker, Richard Dawkins. So, what connects these voices, and how do you curate a lineup that is so big like that?
Well, you said it. It is about making sure you hear a fuller picture. Just like Ta-Nehisi Coates is a brilliant mind, and you should listen to him. And I think his books are beautifully written, and I think he's intellectually honest. You should listen to John McWhorter, who has, well, the opposite argument of Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's also a brilliant thinker and writes beautifully, and happens to be a linguist, so he can talk about how language has changed. So the through line for this event series is these are people who may have opposing views, but they also are intellectually grounded, and they have incredible messages. I just mention one name that New Jersey might have not heard. Uh, Masi Alinejad. She is an
Mhm.
incredible journalist, a hero of mine, and for many people she is Iran's public enemy number one, and she has been fighting for people in Iran for decades. And Iran tried to kill her on American soil 3 times, and she hasn't done a public event like this in a very long time for obvious reason. And she has, kindly agreed to come to Montclair for this event. And you're going to hear a perspective about Iran you may have not heard from uh, either side of the spectrum because she grew up in a small village in Iran, and the mullahs wants to kill her.
Wow. Desh, when I think about that I almost get emotional. That is the definition of a real journalist. People like even me, we showed up at our nice office building in Manhattan. We type a little bit, we talk on TV, and we're protected. And we could go out to our cars and go home to our families and know nothing matters. Someone like that literally knows every moment she could die, and that to speak truth to power and have that is the definition of brave journalist. I can't even call myself a journalist when I hear something like that. So amazing. And by the way, for anyone who thinks right across the board they have one thought of Iran, I will post on our website. There's a gentleman who actually took a tour. He snuck in, or not snuck in, he went in legally. He's from Britain, and he did a whole tour of Iran. And the people of Iran are awesome. They're awesome. Unfortunately, there's a tyrannical government in charge right now, but I think Americans and Iranians would have a ball together, because they're such smart people, but it's just so sad that the governments have separated us like this. So it would be fascinating to hear her. I would imagine she's amazing. What do you think that audiences are craving, and why do you think they're craving this in-person intellectual experience right now? Is it just that we're inundated by social media silliness?
I think, yes, social media has muted us our ability to really grasp issues. We just see, back in the day, the argument was it was just the headlines. Now it's all headlines. You see a 30-second clip and then you think, you're informed, and algorithms just keep feeding you that narrative. I think there is a slow, but surely people are thinking, well, this can't be all of it. So, and also the pandemic really closed us to enforce us to just be at home. It's slowly becoming time for people to meet like-minded people, and also the other side actually have a genuine conversation in person. When you go to an event, it's electric, right? And what these speakers will say over a period of 90 minutes will actually make you think. And I believe people crave that more and more. And this is an opportunity where you don't have to go to Manhattan to do it. It's in Montclair.
I love it. And yeah, it's we tend to think that social media increases thought, but it and we blame mainstream media for these 30-second headlines. All social media does is give us more 30-second headlines. It has not expanded a lot of conversation, sadly. And people tend to go to their own political camp and they don't look at the other side and listen to the other side, which is so sad.
And the
So how
algorithm doesn't help, right?
you nailed it. That's the thing. They want you to do that because they want you to keep watching and go down rabbit holes. So the more people watch social media, the more advertising they sell. They are just as guilty of it as CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox were over the years. You're 100% right, Desh. How could somebody get tickets to this to be part of the Thinkable community? What's a website?
Go to thinkable.events and the season pass is available now.
I love it. I love it. I adore you. Entrepreneur, producer, educator, thinkable creator, brilliant man, Desh Amila. And is it Amila or Amila? How do you properly pronounce it?
Oh, they're both right.
Because I've heard both and I didn't want to be disrespectful. Thank you. Desh
Thank you
Amila,
so much.
thank you for joining us. Bless you. And please come back again. I thank God that a person like you exists and you're bringing this to us. Thank you for doing this. It's
I'd
going to be a
love to.
great series. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
I
King.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
Take
Have a
care.
great day. Thank you.